global regulators continue to crack down on crypto. Joining me now is Nick Saponaro. He's the co-founder and CIO at Divvy, a platform aiming to accelerate the adoption of digital currencies. Nick, thank you so much for taking the time to join this afternoon. Let's jump right in. This news might be shocking to some. It sounds like it does not surprise you. Why is that?
Well, the writing's been on the wall for a long time. We're seeing the FATF hand down these sections of guidance over and over again to the regulators of the world. It's been a long time coming, and a lot of exchanges do operate in this sort of ask forgiveness fashion, which is now just not going to work anymore. I think it's important, though, to note that Binance Markets Limited is not necessarily Binance, and there's a lot of confusion around whether or not Binance.com is going to become inaccessible in the UK. As far as it goes right now, it doesn't seem that way. Of course, that could change as the regulations become more clear. But this is a big move for the cryptocurrency space, because while it may seem like fear, uncertainty, and doubt, it's actually a great grand maturing of the space. I mean, as you just mentioned, countries are adopting Bitcoin, banks are adopting Bitcoin. This is just one step toward the maturity of this industry.
Okay, and you know what? That's actually a similar comment that we've had from other guests. So we're starting to see a pattern develop here that, look, the more regulation, the more recognition of this, the more staying power that this has. It's acknowledging that it is a real thing. And we have had investment officers on this show saying that they do think long term there is a space for cryptocurrency like Bitcoin to occupy, almost replacing gold as a modern day gold when we look at the investment horizon down the road. So I do want to get your take, though, Nick. It is a short-term blow potentially to Bitcoin. Do you think, I'm sorry, to Binance, that is? Talk to me a little bit about that.
I don't think this will ultimately affect Binance's business. They've obviously made modifications to their strategy over time. In the United States, they already have Binance.us, and I believe that they were trying to get basically a Binance.UK. That may not be possible now as a result of this action, but something tells me that Binance will be fine and rise from the ashes.
Mm-hmm. This word regulation is a scary word for some, I think, at least here in the U.S. What would be the positives of regulation?
Well, I think it's all about educated regulation, right? And we're starting to see more and more people especially in the United States, getting into government that are tech forward, are, not necessarily technocrats, but have an understanding of this technology. It's important that we're building regulations around the technology and not trying to slot it into regulations that already exist for other asset classes or what have you. This is a very different technology, and it works in a very different way. So I think that as that becomes more prevalent, we will start to see more clear regulations, and the companies that actually fit within these guidelines and take a pragmatic approach to their compliance strategy will be the next Amazons, will be the next Facebooks and Googles of the world.
So it is interesting, Nick. We know that the Fed in the U.S. here is going to meet this summer to put out some sort of paper or research on a U.S. digital dollar. China's developed its own digital currency. We know that they're going to be pushing that. That's one of the reasons that we've seen Bitcoin fall of late, which I don't have to tell you about. But I'm just wondering, if we do see a digital dollar, what does that mean for Binance, a company like Binance?
It's hard to say, and I think that a lot of these actions that are being taken by the governments of the world, including China, cracking down on mining and OTC desks and things like that, including what happened in the UK, these are all moves toward, of course, the rollout of their own digital currencies. I think what's important to note is that the decentralized infrastructure that these blockchains and these cryptocurrencies are built upon really can't be stopped by governments, while the client side things like Binance can be stopped. So I think a move toward decentralized exchanges and decentralized technologies will ultimately be what leads this industry to success, in tandem with these impending central bank digital currencies that are 100% on their way.
All right, Nick Saponaro, co-founder and CIO at Divvy. Nick, so good to get your take. Thank you so much for coming on the show this afternoon.